Can't live with them, can't live without them. It's what my mom and them used to try to tell me about them. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Trying to get to love, every route seems scenic.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Have you ever looked up any of Kyle's ex-girlfriends?
Girl, no. For what?
Well, aren't you ever curious about who was before you?
If I have any questions about Kyle's past, I just ask him, and he tell me. Why? Are you worried that Brian still has ties to his ex?
No, nothing like that. I just think it's weird that he doesn't talk about her at all.
Just be lucky you've never had to deal with another woman. Yes, girl. Things weren't always like they are now.
Wow, the Cosby Show just turned into Desperate Housewives. What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, it was during our first year of marriage. It was a one-night stand thing with some girl he could care less about. When I found out about it, he apologized over and over. You know how they do.
I'm surprised you didn't leave him.
Well, I had to consider his track record and the circumstances.
You make it sound so simple.
That's because you're hearing it from me now, as opposed to then. You know, it's actually harder to stick around and fight for something you believe in than it is to just give up, walk away. Hell, it took years of counseling for me to move on. But in the end, it was worth it, because my marriage is stronger than ever now.
I don't know what I would do if Brian ever cheated on me.
That's right. You don't.
I'm not proud of it, Brian. I mean, cheating is the toughest thing to get past in a marriage. I mean, it still comes up in arguments. Almost a decade later? Make sure you tie up all your loose ends before you get married. Your past has a way of coming up behind you and biting you in the ass.
So you've been pretty much faithful ever since.
Let's say I've learned from my past transgressions. Look, man, I make over $500K a year, and that's without Laura's income. So you can imagine the number of beautiful, thirsty women that practically throw themselves at me every week. Now, I do my best to reject them all, but every so often, one slips through the cracks, and I don't pursue anyone.
So who's to say she won't find out again?
Who's to say she will?
If me and Denise ever decide to get married, I would never, ever.
Never say what you never do, because you never know. The best thing you can do is hope for the best and avoid putting yourself in any compromising situations, because it's hard to resist when those situations find you. Take my advice, Brian. If you ever decide to mess around...
No offense, Kyle, but I don't think I'll be needing that kind of advice, man.
If you ever find yourself in one of those situations, and I'm sure you will, make sure you're honest with the other woman from the start. Make sure you tell her what your limitations are, and it doesn't affect your daily routine or the time you spend with your family.
That sounds about right. But I don't accept that.
Accept what? That you're a man? That it's not in our nature to sleep with one woman for the rest of our lives? Or that you'll never stop looking and they'll never stop hitting on you? Believe me, Brian, it gets worse after you get married. I'm willing to bet that over half the married men out there have cheated in a relationship at one time or another.
That has absolutely nothing to do with me, man. I'm my own man. I make my own decisions, and I'm usually known for going against the grain.
You remind me of me when I first got married. I hope you're talking like this 10 years in your marriage. I hope you're a better man than me.
I'm gonna go check on Denise and see if she's ready to go, all right? It's getting pretty late. So.
Yeah, you know how they are when they get to talking.
Yeah.
La 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 I feel like I'm caught in the mood. This green